All right, so today we're going to deep dive into something I know you're really interested in, and that's using porridge as a tool for weight loss.
Okay.
You sent over a whole bunch of research articles, and to be honest, some of the stuff is pretty surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised too when I started reading about the different types of porridge and all the potential benefits they have for weight loss.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's easy to think of porridge as kind of a plain breakfast, but there's actually a lot more to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So to start us off, can we just talk about why porridge generally is considered good for weight loss?
Sure. Well, the big thing that all the articles emphasize is fiber.
Oh yeah, fiber is like the magic word these days.
It really is, and for good reason. Porridge is packed with fiber, and that helps you feel full and satisfied, which is huge for weight loss.
Yeah, because you're not smacking all the time.
Exactly. You're less likely to overeat, and most porridges are naturally low in unhealthy fats and added sugars, which are the things that tend to pack on the pounds.
That makes sense. Now, I know one question you had specifically was about the timing of eating porridge.
Yeah, is it better to eat it in the morning or at night for weight loss?
Right. What does the research say?
Well, it looks like mornings might be the winner.
Okay, how come?
Having porridge for breakfast gives you those slow-releasing carbohydrates that stabilize your blood sugar throughout the morning.
So no sugar rushes and crashes.
Exactly. You get sustained energy, and you're less likely to crave unhealthy snacks.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about that idea that eating a big meal at night messes with your metabolism? Does that apply to porridge?
Not necessarily. Some studies say having porridge at night might even help you sleep better because of the magnesium. But the key here is portion control. A small serving could be good, but you don't want to overdo it right before bed.
Makes sense. So mindful indulgence if you're having it at night.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about different types of porridge, because you send over research on like a whole grain rainbow here.
Yeah, there are so many to choose from.
Let's start with the most famous one, oats. They're like the star of the breakfast world. But do they really live up to the hype?
Oh, they do, especially for weight loss. Oats are full of fiber, like we talked about, and they also have a decent amount of protein. But not all oats are created equal.
What do you mean?
The research consistently points to rolled or steel-cut oats as being better for weight management than those instant packets.
I'm guessing that's because of how processed they are.
You got it. It comes down to the glycemic index.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that, but I don't really know what it means.
Basically, it measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar.
Oh, okay.
And less processed oats, like rolled or steel-cut, have a lower glycemic index, so they won't spike your blood sugar as much as those instant varieties.
Okay, so they release energy more slowly and steadily.
Exactly.
Got it. So we got to choose those less processed oats. But oats aren't the only player in the porridge game.
Right. There are lots of other interesting grains out there.
What else did you find in your research?
One that stood out to me was barley. It's not as popular as oats, but it has a secret weapon called beta-glucan.
Beta-glucan? That sounds intense.
It is. It's a type of fiber that makes you feel full for a really long time.
How does that work? Does it just like bulk up in your stomach or something?
It's a bit more complicated than that. Beta-glucan increases the viscosity of your food as it goes through your digestive system.
A viscosity.
Yeah, basically it makes your food thicker, which slows down digestion and keeps you feeling satisfied. It also delays gastric emptying, which means your stomach takes longer to empty.
So barley is like a slow burn champion when it comes to keeping you full.
I like that description. It really is.
I'm definitely adding barley to my shopping list. What else did you find?
Well, millet came up as another winner for weight loss.
Okay, tell me about millet.
It has a low glycemic index, which we know is good for blood sugar control.
Right, so it prevents those energy crashes and cravings.
Exactly. But it's also a good source of protein and fiber.
So it's got it all.
Pretty much. It's a triple threat for weight management.
Nice. Okay, so we've got oats, barley, millet, all great sources of fiber and blood sugar friendly. Are there any other porridges out there that might surprise us?
Well, Rabi is one that's not very well known, but it's packed with nutrients.
What is radi made from?
It's made from finger millet, and it's high in protein, fiber, and calcium. And it's naturally gluten-free.
Wait a minute, calcium helps with weight loss?
There's some research suggesting that it might play a role in fat metabolism, but more research is needed.
Interesting. So ragi is like a nutritional powerhouse.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, we can't talk about porridge without mentioning rice porridge. It's a classic in so many cultures, but is it good for weight loss?
It depends on what kind of rice you're using.
Oh, here we go.
White rice porridge isn't the best choice for weight management because it has a high glycemic index and can cause those blood sugar spikes we're trying to avoid.
Right, but I'm guessing there's a but coming.
You're right. Brown rice porridge, on the other hand, is a whole different story.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Brown rice is a whole grain, so it's higher in fiber and has a lower glycemic index than white rice. Plus, it's loaded with nutrients.
So brown rice for the win.
Exactly.
Now, I know you had some questions about Weetabix, which is a popular cereal in some places.
Yeah, I was curious how it stacks up against porridge for weight loss.
What did you find?
Well, both can be part of a healthy diet, but it seems like porridge generally has the edge. It usually has more fiber, which is crucial for weight management, and it tends to provide more sustained energy release, keeping you full for longer.
So porridge wins on fiber and sustained energy. Does that mean Weetabix is a no-go?
Not at all, but it's really important to check the labels because some Weetabix varieties have a lot of added sugar.
Sneaky sugar.
I know, right?
All right, so label awareness is key no matter what you're choosing. That makes sense. Now, let's talk about the practical stuff. How can we prepare porridge in a way that really supports weight loss?
There are some simple swaps and additions that can make a big difference, like using water or unsweetened plant-based milk instead of full-fat dairy.
Okay, so that cuts down on calories without sacrificing creaminess.
Exactly.
Smart swap. What else?
Natural sweeteners are the way to go when you're trying to lose weight, like honey or maple syrup.
Oh yeah, or even mashed banana.
Exactly, those are much better than refined sugar. And of course, always choose whole grains over refined grains.
Okay, so we're talking whole grain and natural sweetness, lighter milk options. Got it. Are there any other fun ways to make porridge more weight loss friendly?
Absolutely, don't be afraid to get creative with toppings.
Toppings.
Yeah, things like nut seeds or fresh fruit. Not only do they add flavor and nutrients, but they also add volume and texture.
So you feel more satisfied with a smaller portion.
Exactly, it's all about making those calories go further.
Speaking of calories, what about calorie counting? Is there like a magic number for porridge and weight loss?
Well, calories aren't everything, but they do matter. As a general rule, 100 grams of cooked oats with water has about 71 calories.
Okay, that's not bad,
But remember, adding milk, nut seeds, and sweeteners will bump up the calorie count.
right? So it's all about being mindful of those extras.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to portion control. Any tips for managing portion sizes?
One simple trick is to use smaller bowls.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds silly, but our eyes often want more than our stomachs can handle. Also, pre-portioning your porridge into containers can help you avoid overeating.
Those are some great practical tips. We've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about fiber, the glycemic index, different grains, cooking methods. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired to get creative in the kitchen.
Me too. There's so much you can do with porridge.
But there's one thing that's been on my mind.
Oh, what's that?
We talked about eating porridge in the morning for stable blood sugar and fewer cravings, and how a small portion at night might help you sleep better. But what if the timing of eating porridge could actually have a bigger impact on sleep quality, which could then affect weight loss?
That's an interesting thought. We know that not getting enough sleep can lead to weight gain.
Right? So it makes sense that when you eat, your porridge might affect how well you sleep, and as a result, your weight loss journey.
It's like a chain reaction.
We've been talking about types of porridge, how to prepare it, the nutritional benefits.
And now we're thinking about how the timing might affect sleep and indirectly weight loss.
It really shows how connected everything is in our bodies.
It does.
So what does all this mean for our listener who wants to use porridge for weight loss?
It means they have a delicious and versatile tool they can use. They can experiment with different types of porridge, choose healthy preparation methods, and even play around with the timing to see what works best for them.
It's all about personalized nutrition, right?
Absolutely. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
And who knows, maybe our listener will discover something new about how their body responds to porridge and how it affects their sleep and weight.
I love that idea. It's all about empowering ourselves with knowledge and then putting it into practice.
Speaking of putting things into practice, I have a question about the different types of porridge.
What is it?
We know that oats, barley, and millet are all good for weight loss. But is there any research on whether some porridges are better for morning or evening?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if there's any conclusive research on that specific topic. It's definitely something to explore.
Maybe some of our listeners could do some digging or even try it out themselves.
Yeah, that would be amazing. A whole community of citizen scientists figuring out the best porridge pairings for different times of day.
It just goes to show that even with a simple food like porridge, there's always more to learn.
Exactly. It's a never-ending journey of discovery.
Okay, well, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
We've covered a lot from fiber and the glycemic index to different grains and cooking methods.
And we even touched on sleep and its connection to weight management.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, but as with any dietary change, it's important to be balanced.
What do you mean?
Porridge could be a fantastic part of a weight loss plan, but it's not a magic solution.
Right, it's not about only eating porridge.
Exactly. It's about incorporating it into a healthy and sustainable way of eating that works for you and supports your overall health goals. And don't forget to enjoy your food. Porridge can be so delicious and comforting, especially when you get creative with flavors and toppings.
Absolutely. So as you start your porridge adventure,
Remember to savor the experience.
experiment with different grains, toppings, and timings.
And most importantly,
Listen to your body and find what feels best for you.
well said. On that note, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of porridge for weight loss.
We hope you've learned some valuable things and feel inspired to try some new porridge recipes.
Until next time.
Happy porridging! And hey, if you find any amazing porridge discoveries while you're experimenting, let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about your porridge investors.
Maybe your findings will even inspire a future deep dive.
That's the great thing about this journey, you know?
What's that?
It's collaborative. We can all share what we learn.
We're all in this together, figuring out how food affects our well-being.
And porridge is a perfect example of how a simple food can be so powerful.
It reminds us that sometimes the answers are in those old traditions.
Combined with curiosity and a willingness to try new things.
So go ahead, listener, embrace the power of porridge.
May your bowls be full of flavor and good health.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into porridge for weight loss.
We hope you learned some helpful things and feel inspired to start your own porridge adventure.
Until next time, happy porridging.